Welcome to a brand new series, Intro to 5-Element Theory. This is coming directly from my book, which many of you have. And if you don't, I wanted to be able to share the wisdom and knowledge of the elements with you. So this will help you understand them if you know nothing at all about them. And you can make sure you get this series if you go to melissawest.com/book, because I know that the YouTube algorithm doesn't always put it in front of you each week. We're going to be starting with water element this week, also a basic introduction to the 5 elements in and of themselves. And each week I will introduce you very basically, a very basic introduction to each of the elements. So that is my gift to you. We'll go through this over the next 5 weeks. For this class, you're going to need, if you have a bolster, a blanket, 2 blocks, and a yoga strap. We are filming on the Straits of Juan de Fuca today. There are going to be boats and airplanes going by. We're on a flight path, and it's just sort of a busy spot. So we're going to do our best to keep it as calm as possible. Also, just to let you know, this is my 3rd time trying to film this class for you. First time out, just didn't work out. 2nd time, I filmed a whole version of this class, which I just felt was too advanced. And I went back to the drawing board and created this version that really is an introduction. That version is going to go in the membership community because I've been teaching about this for the past 7 years with my members, and it won't be a problem for them. But this is a true introduction where I'm just going to try and keep it as simple, because 5-element theory is a theory of all of life. So it can be very complex. And in this one, I've really pared it back to try and create it as simply as possible. So don't worry if you don't get it all. It's something that you could study the rest of your life, and more can be revealed to you over time. So we're going to start with wide-legged child's pose. You're going to be in this pose for 5 minutes. And if wide-legged child's pose doesn't work for your knees, then you can always do knees to chest pose on your back. We're going to be affecting the kidney meridian here. So you want to feel sensation on the insides of your legs, and you want to breathe into your low back. So you're going to, so that's a wolf. And you're going to come into the pose, and you're going to soften and find an appropriate edge that you can stay with for 5 minutes. Be still and stay for a while. So just to introduce you to 5-element theory as a whole, like, where do these 5 elements come from? And they emerge out of yin and yang. And where do yin and yang come from? So yin and yang emerge from the void, which represent the ultimate state of potential and possibility. From this emptiness, 2 complementary forces of yin and yang arise. So yin represents qualities like darkness, stillness, and passivity, while yang represents qualities like light, movement, and activity. And together they form a harmonious and balanced duality that is essential for the functioning of the universe. 5 elements, also known as the 5 phases. So when we think about 5 elements, they're not actually things, they're movement of energy. So they're known as the 5 phases. Chinese philosophy emerge from the interaction and transformation of yin and yang. They represent the fundamental building blocks of the natural world and are used to describe the dynamic processes and relationships in nature. The 5 elements, wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, are the result of the combination and interplay of yin and yang. Each element has unique characteristics and qualities that respond to different aspects of nature of life, including organs, emotions, seasons, colors, directions, and generating and moderating influences. So we'll be focusing on those things. I'll be introducing you to the organ of water element, the emotion, the season, the color, the direction, and maybe I think I'm going to leave out the generating and moderating influences for now because that's a little more advanced. Okay, you're going to find a way out of this pose. And you're going to rest back on your back so you can feel the flow of chi. Okay, so take a breath here. And then we're going to come into Sphinx Pose with your leg up to the side. So you're going to roll over onto your stomach. And you're going to place your arms in front. Rock your pelvis from side to side. And you're going to draw your elbows back underneath you. Press down. Reach your base of your shoulder blades down into your jean pockets and bring your right leg up to your side. Okay, so you feel some pressure on your inside of your leg. So we're affecting the kidney meridian, and also so that you've got some pressure on your kidneys. Now I'm going to show you an alternative because I've been having a lot of migraines lately, and that can be a migraine trigger for me, Sphinx Pose. You could also take fish pose. You're not going to get the pressurizing of the kidneys in the same way, but you could open your leg out into tree pose and then you would still be getting some pressurizing of the kidney meridian. Okay, so you're going to be in this pose for 3 minutes. Okay, so as you're in this pose, breathing into your low back, particularly if you're in the Sphinx pose, feeling the pressure on the inside of the leg, the sensation on the inside of the leg if you're in either of them. Water is the most yin of all the elements. This is why we start here. It's the season of winter when life is dormant. So just picture winter in your mind's eye. The main organ system associated with water element season is the kidney and bladder meridians. So here we're pressurizing the kidney organs in your low back, if you're in Sphinx Pose particularly, and pulling and pressurizing the kidney meridian on the inside of your leg. So just bring your awareness to that here as you're in this pose. Okay, you're gonna find a way out of this pose. If you're on your Sphinx pose, you can just lie on your belly. And if you're doing the fish pose like me, let's just lie here, bringing the leg in. Pausing here for a moment before we do the other side. Then if you're on your belly, rock your pelvis from side to side, release your low back. Draw your elbows underneath you, press down through your elbows, reaching the base of your shoulder blades down towards your sit bones, letting your neck be free. So it's a fairly active pose, Sphinx pose. Bring your left leg up to the side. So you're doing like a reclined tree pose in this fish pose. Or you're doing a leg up to the side in Sphinx. It's called Tipsy Frog, I think. So finding that appropriate edge where you can soften, be still, stay for a while, breathe into your low backs, your kidneys. Feel the sensation on the insides of your legs, regardless of which version you're in. And you're going to be here for 3 minutes. So you're going to breathe into your low back here, your kidneys, just at the base of your ribs. This is your Jing Qi, your source energy, the energy that you're born with when you're a baby. And we want to conserve this energy like we conserve energy in winter because it's a limited resource. You get a certain amount of kidney Jing Qi when you're born. And really, as much as possible, we don't want to dip into these reserves because when they're used up, your life force is complete and so is your life. And there's a lot more to say about this, but let's just keep that simple. Imagine it like a battery that isn't rechargeable. And we want to just keep those reserves as replenished as possible. So breathing into this, just keeping our energy reserves by resting, not dipping into them, not overextending ourselves, really supportive. Okay, find a way out of this pose. If you're in Sphinx, you can rest on your belly with your legs down. If you're in fish, you can release the props and lie on your back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next yin posture. You might want to strap for this one, so have your strap close by. You're going to lie on your back. We're going to start with our knees bent and our feet flat on the floor. You're going to draw your right knee in and hold on to the bottom of your foot. Draw your knee in towards your armpit for half happy baby pose. You could use a strap here too if it's difficult to reach, especially with keeping your shoulder relaxed. You're going to be in this pose for 3 minutes. So in this pose, you're affecting your bladder meridian, which runs along the backs of your legs. It runs along the whole back of your body, starting at the insides of your eyes, over the top of your head, along either side of your spine, down the backs of your legs. It's the longest meridian in your body, and it's the other meridian system and organ connected with water element, winter season. So it's associated with the element of fear. So often you'll have to go to the washroom. Number one, pee. You have to go pee when you're afraid. And if we think about winter season, it's a season in the agrarian culture where you had to have enough reserves to make it through the winter. So there was a lot of fear of surviving the winter. And so that's the connection too with water element and the season of winter. Okay, so take a breath. Release this pose from your body. Pause here. Feel the flow of chi. Okay, and then we'll draw your left knee in. Hold on to the bottom of your left foot. Draw your knee in towards your armpit. You want to feel sensation along the back of your leg. And again, you're going to be in this pose for 3 minutes. So your bladder organ holds the fluids of your body, hence water element. And it's a very flexible organ, so it can expand a lot and then it can condense a lot as it releases the fluids in your bladder. So it has to do with flexibility, going with the flow. Do also find that this organ system relates to your nervous system. If you think about how it runs along either side of your spine, so when you work this organ system, it can move you away from fight, flight, freeze, which when you contemplate it, really does connect with water. Okay, so release this side from your body. Feel the rebound. So let's come to seated for half dragonfly pose. Here you're going to sit up on your blanket. So here you're going to bend your right leg and extend your left leg for half dragonfly pose. And you're going to fold forward. So you're going to be pulling and pressurizing the tissues of your bladder meridian along the back of your leg and your kidney meridian on the inside of your leg. And you could use a bolster here to support you or to support you here. You're going to be in this pose for 5 minutes, so we want to soften, be still, find an appropriate edge that we can stay with for 5 minutes. The color associated with water element season is dark blue or black. Like the short days of winter, like the depth of the ocean. like the darkness of yin and unknown and mystery. Okay, so you're going to inhale and come upright. Pause here at the top. So just notice how you're feeling, if this forward folds are having a calming influence on you. As I mentioned, that nervous system response. Let's switch sides. Okay, so take a breath and come upright. Pause here for a moment again. And you're going to rest back on your back and feel the rebound. Okay, we're going to come up and do wide-legged seated forward fold, a dragonfly pose. So again, it's great if you can sit up on your blanket so you can roll over your pelvis and fold forward. You're going to be in this pose for 5 minutes. So the direction of water element season is inwards. When all of life is quiet and still, we turn inwards. When all of nature is dormant, it turns inwards in winter. And with this energy turning inwards, we can have deep listening and connect with our own internal wisdom. So here you're feeling the bladder meridians on the backs of your legs and the kidneys on the insides of your legs. Okay, so take a breath and come upright. And we'll rest back and feel the rebound here. Okay, our next yin pose is reclined bound angle pose, or you could take it seated as well. It's up to you. So for this, you could use your blanket or your strap, and you could take your blanket and wrap it around your ankles. That's a nice way to support your knees here. And then you could use your bolster if you want to do reclined, or you could do another forward fold. I'm just, because of my situation here, I'm going to do a forward fold, but feel free to do reclined. Whatever works best for you in your situation. You're going to be in this pose for 5 minutes. So we're pulling and pressurizing the tissues of the kidney meridian, which runs along the insides of your legs here. The emotion associated with water element season in winter is fear. And the antidote to fear is courage. So as I said, there's fear that you might not have enough reserves to survive through the long winter. It's a season of survival, and we still have these, the survival concerns in our modern day life, and we still have the survival response. And I think that's why, you know, polyvagal theory, nervous system stuff is so popular today. So this is still very much alive for us. And of course, bringing in water element practices really does support our nervous system. And so I think it's definitely still very much relevant today. So fear, courage, supporting our nervous system. Take a breath. And you can come upright, moving slowly and gently into your final resting position for Savasana. So resting back to receive and integrate the movement of water element phase in you. Winter season, kidneys, bladder meridian. The direction is inward, stillness, inner listening, wisdom, dark blue and black. The emotions of fear or courage. Just letting yourself receive all of that, letting it wash over you, knowing you have many seasons to receive 5-element theory. Noticing what stands out to you, what feels most important at this time. And I'm going to sit up and read a poem for you. The poem is called Wintering by Sandra. The stars gave up their deep drifting and touched bottom. No clouds toppled across the snow wilderness. No gloom dark tree glitter winding and twining its silks. Blankness, egg quiet. The level sprawl of the world drew away tinily in every direction. Afternoons remained unknown to each other, yet loss keeps thudding past my house, telling me I'm not done. My heart's still leaping like grasshoppers. So you can gradually allow your breath to deepen. You can wiggle and stretch out. Slowly make your way up to a seated position. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this first class in the intro to 5-element theory. It's such a joy for me to share something with you that has been so precious to me, something that I've spent many years studying, and I'm now so grateful to be able to share with you in my book, but also to be able to share freely with you in my classes. This is just like the pin tip of 5-element theory. If you want to go deeper with it, there's my book, but there's also many courses on it in our membership community, and many months in our community we go deeper with it. So this month is August, we're focusing on earth element. In September we'll be moving into metal element, and we take one aspect of it and we go much deeper with it. So if this is something that interests you at all, then definitely join our membership. In September we'll be focusing on metal element and breath, and then the immunity aspect of it in November. So we always just take a small aspect of it and go really deep with it. So thank you so much for liking this video, for subscribing. If you want to see the whole series, definitely sign up for melissawest.com/book to make sure we can email it to you, because YouTube doesn't always put it in front of you. And I love this intro to the 5 elements in the comments. That really helps the algorithm and put it in front of other people just like you, and I appreciate that. It's one way that you can support us. Sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. Very windy day here. May your joy be as deep as the Pacific Ocean. May you be as rooted as the old growth trees in our forests. May you be strong as the mountains.